I keep hearing about all these things that trips he's taking and a new boat, and it's hard when I've had to take on a part-time job to try and pay my bill.
Well, we've been here a few times, sometimes with me, sometimes with a different judicial officer. We are still looking at that primarily past due spousal support. When you were back in front of Judge Basher on August 30th, it sounded like, Mr. Hansen, you were going to be making a payment on Friday, and you were still talking about the retroactive funds based on some work issues. What can you tell me at this time? Mr. Hansen, can you hear the court?
I can now, thank you.
Okay. So on this case, what I was saying previously is I had signed an order on contempt back in July for past spousal support. You've had 2 review hearings, one with me and one with a different judicial officer, and we're still kind of waiting on status of that retroactive payment. So what can you tell us?
I just received our retro schedule from our recently approved contract. On October 2nd, I will be getting a retro check that will cover the raise on the contract from July 22 to July 23. And then on Friday, November 3rd, I will be getting a retro check to cover July of 23 through the previous date now. So that will be enough to cover the $5,000 that I'm back on. I made August payment and I made September payment, and I can make October payment prior to the retro check, or I can cover everything when I get that check.
Ms. Hansen, let me turn it over to you to ask how you would like to proceed. This isn't quite what I was hoping for today, but this is your life and your case. So are you wait to see if those payments come in October 2 and November 3, or what is your request of the court?
I would rather have it paid before those dates. I keep hearing about all these things that trips he's taking and a new boat, and it's hard when I've had to take on a part-time job to try and pay my bill. So I would rather that be paid before that. And it's also 5 months, not 4 months of back pay. It's March through July. So it's $6,250.
Yeah. So the original, when you filed the original contempt order, you filled in March to June,
right,
for $5,000. So are you indicating there's now an extra month, June to July?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you, let me make sure I don't think I have anything new from you for that extra month. I'll just double check my orders here. No, I don't. So,
well, when I it was June, and so I couldn't really, because I hadn't seen if he was going to come through, and he didn't.
Right.
He's in August.
Yep. So we've got the $5,000 order. If there's the June to July for another $1,000 that has not paid, please file a new contempt hearing order for the extra $1,000. We'll review that when we're back together on this case. I will very much be entertaining interest on these payments because, Mr. Hansen, I do feel as though we're getting a little bit of runaround from you about getting this retroactive money paid. This has been requested and ordered for many months. And
yes,
every time we're together, you tell us that, oh, next week or the next week or the next week. And that I can understand Ms. Hansen's frustration. So I will give you a new date, but it will include additional interest on this money because it is not fair that she's had to wait this long for it.
Is there any way I can give you my work schedule? I didn't work last week. I'm on a job today that I had to replace on because you have to replace or show up. The week before I had a 2-day job. I'm not getting a check this week. I'll get a check next week. How can I send you evidence showing that work is very slow? Is there a way I can send that to the Superior Court to show you that I'm
Take
not
out
working?
all-
Well, sir, so a couple things, and I understand that handling these cases without an attorney can be difficult. But all I can go on is your decree of dissolution and what was ordered that you pay. So if you believe that you can no longer pay that money, you could file certain requests in this court to reduce those payments. But what I am currently working off of is the court's requirement and order that you pay that amount of money every single month. So I can only look at, have you paid it or have you not paid it?
Right,
And that's what we're
not the
doing.
reason, you can't look at the reason I haven't paid it.
No, I have an
Okay.
order signed by a judge in this county saying he has to pay this money. And you have
Right.
not applied for any excuse for making those payments. You have not applied for any modification for making those payments. You just come here and tell us you're going to pay them, and then it still doesn't happen. So I will do a last set over on this to, you said on October 2nd, you're getting retroactive money.
That's correct.
Okay, I'll set this to October 4. That docket's open, correct? That's going to be October 4 at 9 a.m. Couple things I want to see. I want to see that a significant, if not all, of the retroactive money has been paid. Ms. Hanson, also, before that time, please file with the court and on Mr. Hanson your request for the additional month, the June to July contempt period. Leave open the interest on that amount. I will be awarding interest based on how long this has taken, and we'll reassess this case on the 4th. Okay.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
So when does contempt come into play? Like you just wait and wait and wait and.
He's already in contempt, but the only other thing I can do is throw him into jail. And right now that's not going to help you get your money when he's working and expecting these checks. So unfortunately, as he probably heard me tell someone else, if we get to October 4th and those retro monies aren't paid, then I probably will be appointing a lawyer to you and we will be contemplating jail, and that helps no one. But that's the last tool we have in our toolbox. So I'm really imploring you, Mr. Hanson, this is important. These are court orders. This is important to Mrs. Hanson. My hands are tied when a judge tells you you need to do something and then you fail to do it, or you fail to file a motion stating why you can't do it. Okay. So we'll see you back on October 4th.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much.
Spousal support in the amount of $2,500 monthly.
That is creating a lot of the animosity here between the parties. She's been living hand to mouth while he's been living a life of luxury.
This is a woman who left the marital home 4 years ago. He makes accusations about what my client is living some life of luxury. He is not. He is paying for everything for this woman.